Welcome to Tigers Untapped, a Bluff City Media podcast. Stepping up to the microphones are your hosts, Trey Lasley and TJ Willis. Pull up your chair, grab your favorite brew, and enjoy the conversation. Now, let's get to the show.
TJ, what is up? We're back with another edition of Tigers Untapped. How was the weekend, my man?
Just another weekend for me. You had the more
exhausting.
I didn't know if I should say
wild,
exciting or exhausting weekend.
Definitely the most extravagant bachelor party I've ever been on.
Yeah.
I left Wednesday for Miami for my best friend from growing up. We had his bachelor party down there. Played 3 rounds of golf, 2 on Thursday where I nearly died. We played at Doral, Trump's course down there. And it was 105 with a humidity of 99%. So after 16 holes, I was ready to be in my deathbed. But we rallied, played another 12 due to lightning.
That's brutal.
And then played another 18 on Friday. And then just hung out in Miami Friday night, hit the casino, went down there. It was a good time. Miami's a little, I don't know, maybe I went to the wrong areas maybe. I don't know. It wasn't what I thought it would be. The traffic is atrocious. You can't get anywhere in under 35 minutes. The casino, you can't have any live dice games. So there's no craps. There's no roulette. No live. It's all video game style, which I'm not a fan of. That feels really cheaty.
Yeah.
I feel people talk about loaded dice. If you playing a craps game on a video screen, you got no control.
The human element is taken out of it at that point. I don't like that at all.
It also lightninged maybe 66% of the time we were there from Wednesday night through. We stayed out till about 1 o'clock Saturday. I had an Uber to the airport at 4 a.m. So Wednesday night between 1 a.m. and leaving Miami Sunday morning at 4, it lightninged probably 66% of the time I was there. I know it's Florida in the summer, but I have never been anywhere where this is considered the off season for golf. So the courses were cheaper down there because we were getting off season rates. They're off season for golf down there because it's so damn hot. It's like May through October. It was brutal. I mean, I thought Memphis was hot. It was unbearably hot.
A little closer to the equator there.
Yeah. It's just it was next level stuff. It was a great time though. Had fun.
You're back. And we have air conditioning. Were you here for the 80s? We had 80-degree weather for a little bit there. That was great.
The 80s, like your hair?
Yes, like my hair.
Let's not float past this without talking about it.
You just got the locks down tonight. A lot of body in that hair.
I trimmed them up a bit, guys.
Not just a bit.
Did you cut it?
Yeah, we did cut it. There's about 9 inches off. So we're looking. It's a lot. Yeah, 9 inches, brother. It's a lot shorter. It's more like less Joe Dirt. I was getting a lot of like hillbilly vibes from behind.
I don't know. My mom may not think you're a panhandler anymore if she sees you out.
I don't know. That's
in the Kroger parking lot. Wow, look at this. My tab just broke. The can's not fully open.
I've had that.
I don't know how this is going to go on.
Tonight we have High Cotton Czar IPA. The Czar IPA.
Wow. This is... After
that.
4 straight days of drinking Modelo and High Noons,
it's a little different.
This Czar IPA at 7% is going to hit different tonight.
Yeah. But it's another High Cotton. We haven't done a High Cotton in a little bit, so.
It's a very plain can, though.
It is, per usual. All right. We got the beer out of the way. What are we talking about today?
TJ.
I have an idea.
Can I say something real quick before y'all move on?
It's so quick,
super fast.
Please,
not to bring it. Just to want to give a Tigers Untapped condolences to the University of Houston, the Reggie Chaney family. I don't know if y'all saw the news. Guy who's faced off against the Tigers numerous times passed away today. Just want to say, man, condolences to that whole entire the city of Houston, the Houston Cougars, and the Chaney family.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you talk about a guy that we were going to war with like twice a year, 3 times a year, just 2 years ago. 23, I think, right, Kenny?
Yeah, he was 23 years old.
Yeah, that's awful. I mean, even, with the rivalry and everything, the hatred between the two schools, you hate to see something like that happen. So definitely prayers out to the Chaney family and the Houston community.
I still hate those folks over at Houston, though.
I don't know that was the time, TJ. All right, we are literally less than 2 weeks away from Tiger football. We are, it's Monday? We're 5 days from college football. We got week 0, which a lot of people hate that. I love it. Give me a week 0 and every time. I will take it.
It's a week earlier. Who doesn't like a football a week earlier? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know why. The week 0, it's great for me. TJ, the football program, we got a little bit of not just local recognition, but national recognition for a little, what do you call it, a promotion they got going on with the Tigers Win, You Win promo.
Yeah, that's a promo.
Right now, if you buy a $60 ticket to the September 1st, so next week against Bethune-Cookman, that every home game the Tigers win, if they win against Bethune, you get a ticket to the next game against Navy. They beat Navy, you get a ticket to the next game against Boise State at home. They keep winning at home, you keep getting tickets all for just $60.
It's an incredible deal.
I've never seen one. Yes, it's an incredible deal. Now, it's not like, oh, this is a huge, you're saving several $100s. You can go on there, go to the Twitter. This is something else we talked about. You can go straight to the Memphis football Twitter and buy season tickets right from there, a flex pack. They got season tickets starting at $99. So at the end of the day, if they go undefeated at home, you get a ticket for every game. You're saving $40 still. But I think the more, I've never seen anything like that from another. It's fun, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're paying for a ticket to one game, and every time they win, you feel like you win.
It's super innovative, I would say. It's definitely a different way to get more people into the stadium. Because and for what it's worth, I think you mentioned those $100 season ticket packs. I think those are probably up a little bit higher.
Sure.
Perhaps. These are lower.
Let's be real. You can kind of sit wherever you want.
That is fair. These are generally lower bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, the ones I was looking at were 4 or 5 rows off of, what are we, 117?
Yeah.
So these are in 116, 115. I mean,
it's
right
a great
there.
deal. I mean, I think you'll definitely get some people to buy into that. I will probably do that for my wife. Spend $60, and then if they keep winning, she gets a ticket.
Yeah, it's gonna be too hot for my wife. I already know what she's gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, Natalie probably will not. One, she will definitely probably not go to the Cookman game. I mean, she'll go to the tailgate probably with us, but
yeah,
I'll do it, and then maybe I'll do 2 of them, and I'll just get tickets every time they win and give them to somebody.
I think it's also super smart because Memphis has been, although the last couple of years have kind of tested this, they've been pretty damn good at home.
Yeah, I think, what is it, in the college football playoff era, we're 52-9, I think, at home. So the odds are ever in your favor if you take this promo on. I mean, chances are you're getting, definitely 1 game. I mean, 2 for sure, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, you're definitely, I feel pretty confident saying you're definitely getting.
Yeah, I feel confident saying you're definitely getting to 3.
Who's the second home game?
You got Navy on that Thursday night.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about Navy a little bit later. Nerds. Just kidding. I like Navy.
Nerds. But anyway, shout out to I don't know if that's the marketing department over there pushing that, but that was absolutely an awesome idea. I think even Brett McMurphy was tweeting about it.
Sure.
Getting all kinds of recognition. Never seen anything like that from any other, not even just football, but any other athletic team, professional or collegiate.
I mean, they could have hit us with buy 5 Pronto Pups in one game and you get season tickets. I'd been so down for that because I could definitely eat 5
We'll get
Pronto
to that
Pups.
later. That'll be part of the season superlatives.
Oh, okay. All right.
Tej, with us being less than a week away, want to do a little depth chart run through?
Yeah, why not? I think we can. I mean, we are, like you said, 2 weeks away. I think there's a general consensus on a lot of guys, right? On most of them. I'd say almost every position. Maybe
almost every.
Yeah, I think there's some question marks still out there.
Okay.
So.
All right, well, let's jump into it. You want to start offense or defense first?
Let's do offense. Why not?
All right, well, we'll go with the softball. QB, QB1, obviously, is Seth.
Cade Cunningham. Seth then again.
TJ's got jokes. So Seth, you want to go 2? Is it TC?
I think it's Tevin Carter. Yeah, been in the program twice now, so 2 years of that.
Okay.
Hey,
I kind of agree with you, and I would love to see us. I mean, not just next week. I'd take it in the Navy game too. Just absolute in Arkansas State. Let's get Gridiron Penny some snaps. Let's get up by 40. Get him some snaps. People need to see him sling that thing.
I want Tevin Carter rocket bombs to Darius James, 90 yards in air, because that's about how far he can throw the ball.
Wow, that would be fun.
Just saying.
Is that a promise that that's what's going to happen?
It's very likely. We saw him do it the spring game last year with Eric Rivers, and Eric Rivers isn't here, and now you got Darius James.
Eric Rivers.
He didn't die. Yeah,
his Tiger career died.
Yeah, well, he's a Panther now at FIU. I don't know if that's.
Speaking of Miami. All right, on to running back. This is a crowded room. I mean, even today, I think at media availability, Coach Dawkins was talking about they got 5 guys that are looking to get touches, which is, I mean, we talked about it a little bit last week with Coach Silverfield. It's kind of that day and age. Most teams don't have a true
bell cow.
Yeah, 25, 30, 35 carries a game kind of guy anymore. So you want to identify a true 1 or 2 and then maybe some situational guys.
Yeah.
They either get in there and are catching balls out of the backfield or maybe a goal line guy, short yardage guy. Who is your day one first snap starter at running back?
I bounce back and forth on this one a lot. For a long time, it's been Jay Ducker. I think he is exactly what you need.
Speaking of Duck, did you see that video of Chandler Martin?
Yes, Chandler Martin absolutely flew in like
I don't know
a
what
missile.
It felt like it's been years since we've seen a Tiger defender hit somebody like that.
Yeah, it was. Rest up, Duck. I'm sure you got a little headache still because he got planted.
Anyway, good to see. Okay, you went back and forth, Ducker.
Yeah, I think Ducker does and checks Ryan's boxes for a guy who is slow to the hole as fast as he can through it.
TJ with these speed jokes again.
Very productive in terms of within the tackles. I think he's super productive. He protects the ball.
Slow to the hole good?
Yeah, that's actually what you want.
Okay.
Slow to fast through. Yeah, that's like the slogan. A part of me really thinks it's going to be Watson, though, just because of the explosive big play potential he has, because he can scoot.
And he's coming off scoot. Nearly 2,000. It is 2,000 yards the last 2 seasons, right?
I think he was a little shy 1 year.
Yeah, I think it was 916, but I think
cumulatively
he's had 2,000 the last 2 years. I'm kind of right there with you. I mean, we've heard great things. Even Coach mentioned it last week about Sutton Smith.
Sure.
But I think it's probably Blake, but I'm going Sutton as the 2.
Okay.
I think, again, situationally, we're going to see Sutton line up in a lot of different spots other than just right there.
I was about to say, he is.
But he needs to get touches.
I think I said this last week. He is not Tony Pollard because very few people are.
Well, there's only one.
Yeah, he's very Tony Pollard-esque. You can put him in the backfield. You can put him at wide receiver. It doesn't matter. It's all about.
I don't have an NFL team, but Christian,
that is the worst
Christian
possible
team you can very excited about this, but TP may make me a Cowboys fan.
Please don't do no.
That is the worst.
Not even for
possible.
TP.
No.
Christian's also got that badass Cowboys rope hat that I want. So this can be a problem.
You can be better. That's all I'm saying.
How can you not have a team and then choose the Cowboys?
It's TP.
Ugh.
It's America's team.
Ugh.
You could be an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
You could be a Packers fan.
There's more Tigers on the Eagles than there are on the Cowboys.
A Jets fan.
Although Hard Knocks, the Jets, I love Hard Knocks, and I tend to start pulling for the team that's featured that year.
I'm just saying. There's
but
better
I've only seen one episode so far this year. All right, yeah, I'm going Watson, Sutton at the 2.
Yeah, I will say, and I know it's not like a sexy statement because he's been kind of banged up, But Brandon Thomas looks like he's back to how he was 2 years ago.
I mean, I think Coach Dawkins said today he's healthy.
No,
I mean,
physically he looks
fully practicing and everything.
If you went off looks alone, you looked at the entire running back room. Brandon is clearly above and beyond like the most physically gifted looking. He's just chiseled. He's jacked.
What was that? Norfolk State and Arkansas State, where he basically ran for 200 yards a game.
It's Nichols.
Nichols
State.
State. Yeah, I mean,
he looks like that again.
Looks like he's
last year. He
he's
did.
back.
He looked like he'd slimmed down. He didn't. So he's back physically.
Yeah, he looks the part.
got it.
100%.
Interesting.
My only concern with Blake is that Blake's just now coming out off an injury.
Sure.
That's fair. That is fair. And that's kind of why I was looking at Ducker as the number one. He's the guy that can kind of come in and just take hit after hit after hit, and then you change a pace, switch it up with Blake. Blake Watson can, I mean, he's a pure home run hitter, honestly.
Sure. All right, let's jump to the wide receivers. We got 3. So we'll go 2 outside guys and then a slot inside. Who's your first starting on the outside?
It's going to be Rock. I think
so.
that's the easiest
I'm in
one to
agreement with
pencil
you.
in, right?
Yeah. All right, let's go slot.
Demir, Blankency.
Yeah. Comsey. And then let's go other outside.
Great question.
I'm interested to see what you say here.
I am going to say Joe Skates because it's a new year for Towski Dove, who I think maybe you were going to make an argument for. It's a new year for him, new scheme. He's been kind of banged up himself. We've seen Skates do it, right? He's just such a field stretcher. I think the moment you have Blankency, another burner out there, it kind of just opens up him to just burn him deep, even more so.
Yeah, I do. I think I lean Toski just as Joe but I mean the reality is like it doesn't matter.
Sure,
they're all going to rotate in.
Yeah,
and out.
exactly.
I mean, you're going to have 4 wide. I mean, we could come out and have Joe and Toski out there and run a 4 wide set.
Kobe Drake.
Yeah, Kobe's going to be out there. You got Marcelo Busey.
Busey. I think it's Busey.
So Jamario Hawkins
all great ones.
Yeah, it's going to be some combination if there are truly just 3: Rock, Joe Skates, Toski Dove, and Demir out there.
If you ran out there with the 4, Rock, Towski Dove, Demir, and Joe Skates,
I feel pretty good about that.
I feel really damn good about
Absolutely.
that. That is a lot.
I mean, you got
That's
2,
so much
you got
size.
2 big-bodied, catching traffic kind of guys in Rock and Toski. And then you got 2 just absolute burners, deep ball, get it to them quick and let them take off, and Joe and Demir.
Yeah,
I feel good about that.
Dude, Toski is one of the most, even without pads on at the spring game, was one of the most physically intimidating receivers I've seen.
He is very much so a very well built a very wide bodied guy.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think when I say this, I don't want it to sound like I'm calling out Rock Taylor because I'm not, but he very much so. This feels like a
breakout year.
It's got to be like a make or break
It's
type
gotta
of year
be.
for him.
It has to be.
He's very much so Javon Ivory to me. It's like you've got to show me something. Like you've been here. This is now your 3rd year, and with Ivory, we saw the same thing kind of one year after another. And I don't know if it's a situation where the quarterbacks weren't looking his way. He wasn't able to get separation. You know, there's arguments both ways. But with Rock, we saw a very good freshman campaign in that one UCF game. I'm like, this dude, he could be really good.
He dropped him. But we have, to your point, we have seen numerous times flashes of Rock, what Rock could be.
Yeah, and he is just such a big-bodied guy. Even though he has slimmed down, he is still a big-bodied receiver.
Isn't that the kind of differential between a guy like Javon Ivory and Rock Taylor? Is Javon was slight. Like he was
very thin.
Very thin.
Yeah.
And I think separation was hard for, like he, was dealing with some injury last year, but also just the physicality needed to get separation was not there for him.
And I've seen Rock make some catches. I know it's something he's struggled with. It's something the whole roster struggled with, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, we have seen Rock drop passes that were like TJ would have caught that down the sideline, and then we've seen him make catches that were like one-handed snags and OBJ style, Anthony Miller-esque.
Yeah,
where it's like, how did he catch that?
I think if you can get Rock to buy in and you get the best of Rock, I mean, between the receiving core, which happens to be the biggest question, I think, on offense.
Yeah.
Well, I could see offensive line being an argument, but we'll go with wide receiver being the biggest question mark.
I mean, you got 3 starters coming back on the offensive line, and
none of the wide receivers
you've got no starters.
Rock and I guess Skates
he's
was the most statistically advanced.
but he was 5th.
Yeah. So for me, it was the wide receivers. I actually, now that I see them and stuff like that, I'm really not that worried about wide receiver. I'm just not. Like the talent is there.
I mean, and we'll talk. I think we might talk about this a little bit later when we jump into some questions. But it feels like overall as a group, they will be much more productive. You may still not have that like ones. I mean, I guess I could see Demir probably playing this role as being the go-to guy, potentially.
You talking about target wise or yard wise?
I'm just saying like the Anthony Miller, like the ball's going to him. The Calvin Austin, right? Like I don't know that you've got like this one that just stands so far above the rest that he's your clear-cut number one receiver. I think you've got a group that can be very productive, and they all do things.
I have a question for you, TJ, since you've been out there on the field a lot with the guys.
Yeah.
Who is the receiver that you would say right now the Tigers have that defensive coordinators from opposing teams are game planning for?
I mean, Skate seems like the easy option because, I mean, I don't remember how many receptions he had last year. It feels like 20, and he still put up, how many yards did he have? 300, 400? Yeah. Just showing you everything he catches is a mile down the field. And that's just something you have to prepare for. Like, you know the Tigers are going to come out and run. Everyone's going to start creeping up, and then you have this guy who is notorious for just beating everyone downfield, and he's 6'3" on top of that. So I think Skates is probably the number one that stands out to me. But again, we just talked about it. I mean, you have a 6'3", 210-pound Rock. Towski Dub I think he's also 6'3". Demir's a burner. There's so many weapons. And I know like you're coming off a year where you've lost everyone. You relied on a tight end. You don't really have that this year. I'm just generally not that worried. I'm really not. I think Skates is going to be great. I think Rock will have a really solid year. Blaine Cumsey, we've seen it in the spring game.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen it at Toledo.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's a playmaker for sure.
I mean, what did Dove have at Missouri? 400, 500 yards?
Yeah.
I mean, this guy who's done it on a much larger scale against harder competition with a worse quarterback.
Very true. All right, let's go to tight end. I don't think there's really, I mean, maybe, but I'm going Lanphier as a starter.
Yeah. I think it'll be Anthony Lanphier, and then probably my guess is Brendan Doyle. Just because he's a big body dude.
He looked good in the spring. I don't know if you've been able to see anything out there at fall camp yet, but
yeah, I mean it's everybody's rotating left and right. But I'd say his size makes him a perfect fit to go out
Jamari's, there. I mean, he's shown that he's capable, but he's more of kind of like an H-back.
Yeah, I think he's more of an H-back. I think he's more of like
coming out of the backfield.
Yeah, I'd love for that dude to drop his hand down on the dirt and just be a fullback and bring back the freaking I formation like JoJo.
God, it makes me think of what we got that targeting call on.
Yes.
Gosh, who was that?
I don't remember. I know exactly what. It was on 13. John Hassel.
Yep, such a good block. That was absolutely the most ridiculous. I see those kinds of plays out of him.
Yeah, he's a big kid too.
But he can catch the ball.
Game. Do it.
I say he can catch the ball.
Yeah, we saw the spring game. He made a pretty sick catch in the spring game.
Yeah, he's got hands. All right, let's jump to
offensive line.
Let's jump to the offensive line. You've obviously got 3 starting returners in Jacob Likes at center, Davion Carter right guard, Jonah Gamble left guard.
Yeah,
I think the question marks there are the 2 tackle positions.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think you return, and technically, Macalin Pounders.
He's a returning. I mean,
he
didn't start every game of the year, but he was
a
starter at multiple games.
I think he started like 1 or maybe even up to 3 games, and then he got hurt.
Yeah,
I think that's your left tackle. As long as he can stay healthy, you're in a good place there. Again, health is always a concern.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what position, really, but having him back is going to help out. And then at right tackle, it's been a battle, I'll be honest. I mean, we've seen 15 different dudes, it feels like, rotate at right tackle to try to figure it out.
So who do you got in there? Terrence McClain?
If you ask me today, I think if you ask me today, man, I don't know. McClain seems like the easy one to take there. I don't know anything about it. Who got?
I mean, I'll go McClain. So that gives you what? Jacob Blake center, Davion Carter right guard, Jonah Gamble left guard, Terrence McClain right tackle, and Pounders at left tackle.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're still probably. I think Henderson can get some run in there, right? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, McClain seems like the easiest option. I guess I'll just say McClain. I don't. Whoever it is on watch. We'll say that. You have a bad game, I'm expecting you probably get pulled and the next guy's coming in, and we may see some rotation there, which is never really like a comfortable thing. But I think they've got to find the best five. And it may not even be a thing where like, hey, I'm a tackle or hey, I'm a guard. If you play well at right tackle, you're a damn right tackle today.
Yeah.
Right? So we could see Xavier Hill move over to right tackle. He's a guy who's came in and he's typically been.
And I mean, we've seen that before. Shoot, I think Davion Carter played center all spring and fall camp last year, and then they threw him in at right guard. And I mean, he was arguably our best offensive lineman at that position. I mean, just overall, but playing a position that he hadn't been practicing in all season.
Gamble was a left tackle, then moved inside. So we've seen it. I do think that they like guys who can rotate and stuff like that. But I'll say McClain. I'll play it safe at right tackle, but I do think that Xavier Hill can get some run.
Gotcha. All right, kicker. I think Seth Morgan.
Obviously.
Punter.
Reed Bauer. Big Boot Bauer. Are you kidding me?
Big Boot Bauer. I like that.
Big Boot Bauer.
Put that on a shirt. All right, let's jump to the D.
A lot of question marks here for me, and it's not in a bad way. It's because like there's so many damn good guys. I don't know who to pick.
All right. Well, we're going to start with the two DNs, which should be pretty easy.
Do you consider Jalen Allen a DN? I know it's like a 4-3.
Okay. The two, what do you want him just as an edge rusher?
Yeah, I mean, it's Jalen Allen's coming off the edge. Whatever you want to consider that. Like I think we can call it a DN. If
whether he's down or up, I think you got Jalen Allen off the edge. And then Cromartie, DN on the other side.
Sure.
All right. Inside. I think one of them he talked a lot about him last week is Josh Ellison.
Yeah, it's Josh Ellison. That's a lock. I mean, he said nothing but great things.
I don't know how else you take that. I'd be shocked if we got out there next week and Josh Ellison wasn't starting at D tackle.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because Ryan talked about him as a guy who was just like, hey, look, I've got an extra year of eligibility. Like, let me come play. Maybe we can win a conference championship. And this dude just shows up and he like kicks in the door like the Kool-Aid man. And this dude's all of a sudden he's your best D lineman.
Stud. All right, who you got next to him?
Great question. And I've toggled back and forth on this over and over again. It could be.
I mean, I want it to be you got Trench Baby.
I know. I want Rambo Trench Baby.
We're big Trench Baby fans. You got Brockington, who's been here. Shown flashes. He's a little smaller, but
he's still kind of stocky though.
He's stocky.
This is the one where I was talking about how I have questions on because a lot of good things have been said about Keviontae Spears as well. And I don't know if it's something that's going to push him into the one spot by any means. I'm going to say it's Brockington just because I've seen him play so well. He is kind of a smaller, but he is stocky. He plays very well for his size and his frame. I'm going to go with Brockington and then Derrick Hunter coming off the bench.
I wish we had Derrick Henry.
That would be pretty unfair.
Well, he is unfair. He's a cheat code. All right. No, I think it'll be Brockington out there at one. But again, this is another position that is just you're gonna see multiple guys kind of in and out, and that's what you need. You need depth there. I mean, we talked about it in closing out games, being able to rotate guys in and not have, Josh Ellison and Brockington, if they're the starters, playing 65, 70 snaps. Sure. All right, let's jump to the linebackers. You got one for sure in the middle.
Jeff Kent.
Our boy Jeff.
Yeah.
Starting there. Anchor. And who you got on the two sides of him outside?
It's tough as well, man.
I mean, based on that video the other day and when I saw it to Chandler Martin, I want to throw
Chandler
him in
Martin
there.
it seems like a clear
He's
lock.
going to be making hits like that and have me fired the heck up.
He's fast, man. We've talked about it over and over and over again. He moves so fluidly. Very similar to Tyler Murray. Very fast for the position they play.
I will say this. Comparison of speed to Tyler, great. He seems to be much more physical than Tyler was.
Sure. Perfectly fair comment.
Which is exactly what I think we need.
We got to think Tyler was really a safety who just stepped down in the box and played, right? I mean, he was 215-pound linebacker. It was like having Austin Hall.
I mean, that's what Chandler Martin is,
lighter,
though, isn't he? Isn't he like 220?
He is a lighter guy, yeah. He's definitely small-ish.
He plays bigger than he is.
He definitely plays a lot bigger than he.
So if we go Chandler, who's on the other outside? You got Sincere there?
No, I want to put Sincere there because he's the senior. He's the local kid. I think I'm gonna put Bryce Edmondson. I think that's someone that he was a part of that 21 class, that highly sought after class. A little banged up last year. We couldn't really ever get much from him. I think it's his time to step up and play. I do think that's another position you'll see some guys rotate at. It could be Edmondson. It could be a Sincere. It could be CJ Johnson, the JUCO linebacker. I mean, there's a couple of guys there.
Marcus
I think
Tillman. We hadn't really heard anything about him though.
I don't think it'll be Marcus Tillman.
No,
I don't think so.
What?
I don't think it'll be him.
Interesting.
I mean, Silverfield did mention Bryce Edmondson by name during y'all's interview with him.
Yeah. Sure. I think it was because he was they had a lot of faith in him coming out. And he's played special teams and things like that, for sure. But if you look at him, he's 6'2", 6'3", 220, 230. I mean, he is, I don't want to say small because that's not a small man by any means, but
for the position.
For the position, he is not a 240-pound linebacker thumper, right? He is not Jeff. Jeff is a large human being. But he moves very well, and he's strong enough to make big plays for them. So I think that he is someone that is going to get some snaps, and I would not be shocked if Bryce had a really good year for us.
All right. If you had one, do you think linebacker is has the most question mark?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think D-line has questions because so many guys are good, right? We've talked about Trench Baby. We talked about Ellison. We talked about Cormonte. Well, there's Whitlow. There's Brockington. There's Keviante Spears. There's Darius Jones, Josh White, another highly sought-after guy. You got Jalen Thomas coming in. Jalen Joyner, another transfer. Like, you have so many dudes that just seem like they could be so beneficial to this team. And then you go to linebacker. You got Jeff Kent-Narku. You've got Sincere. And that's really about it in terms of guys who have played relatively decent minutes. Yeah, like had productive minutes at the D1 level. So, I mean, ECU, or where did he play? Not ECU. East Tennessee State. ETSU. Obviously, they've been pretty good recently. And he's played snaps. And JUCO, CJ Johnson, another guy. He's played snaps there. It's just not the same as playing at Memphis and the AAC. So.
Sure. All right, let's move to the corners on the outside.
Sheesh. Another one where this is like D-line. There's just so many guys.
We've seen a lot of guys getting reps.
I'm going to say Davion Ross is a lock. I think he was really good for us last year. I think that's a
fair assessment.
And on the other side, I'm going to shock some people maybe and say Malik Feaster.
No, I think you're right. I mean, especially with Greg switching to safety. I think those are the two guys.
And I think they like that Ruben can play safety and corner and things like that. So we'll see him move about. And I guess we can take this moment and jump to safety now. Simeon Blair seems like a lock.
If that didn't happen, I mean, if he's not starting.
Did y'all hear him in that video they showed of the at the scrimmage, the goal line play at the scrimmage in the Discord?
Yeah.
Did y'all hear him screaming?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you knew exactly who it was. I
you're
could
gonna
have
hear him
closed
next
my
week.
eyes and I could have told you exactly who that was.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, that's Simeon for sure. So, Simeon, I think is a lock. The other safety,
You don't have Greg there?
I think it could be Greg. I think an argument could be made for Cameron Smith. That's a guy who's played corner and safety. He's played
we've
a
seen
lot
him
of
at
minutes
both
at
spots.
safety.
Yeah. What about Joel Williams?
6'3".
Joel back there.
Joel played there last year.
Yeah.
But I think Joel is very similar to Simeon Blair in the way that they play. They're more physical safeties, like a strong safety type of position. So I don't know if it's I don't know if those are two guys you would play side by side. Because I was kind of watching them and I'm like, I just don't know.
They're just too similar.
Yeah, they're very similar in what they do.
That's two guys you rotate for one another, not put side by side.
Yeah, and I definitely think that transfer Cam Miller, local Memphian kid. I think he could get some run at safety as well.
Although he's been out of the game for a little while.
Different local kid.
What?
Cameron Miller, not Maurice Hampton.
I thought Cam's only been playing. Oh, okay. Yeah. You're right.
Maurice Hampton was the.
I'm thinking
the
of baseball,
player.
two-sport.
Yeah.
You're right.
He's looked good in practice. Honestly, for a guy who hasn't played football in a couple of years, I mean, he's still got juice. I mean, obviously, when you're that, if you're that,
he's
a
an
freak athlete. Yeah, like whatever.
It's like riding a bike; it comes right back.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like baseball is like an unathletic sport by any means. Like he's clearly still quick twitch, very reactive.
I would say baseball is the least athletic of the sports.
Oh, really? Bowling would like a conversation.
Bowling's not a sport; it's a game.
Golf would like a conversation.
Yeah, golf. I mean, I don't know.
There's a lot of athletes in golf. You're looking at one.
Bro.
What's funny?
Okay, guy.
You ever heard of Tiger Woods?
Yeah, can Tiger Woods dunk?
Rory McIlroy? I don't know. Probably not, because his freaking leg is destroyed.
Can
After.
Tiger Woods drive? That's the question. Should an athlete be able to drive? That's the question.
Should they be able to? Sure, if they want to. Why he would ever do it, I don't know. Why do you not have a full-time driver at all times?
Another one. I'll just throw this name out there, by the way. Diego Brumfield. I think that's a guy who is going to see minutes on this field list this year. And it's probably going to be corner or safety. He's looked really good to me.
Somewhere in the secondary.
Yeah, and he's kind of a guy that
I mean, another guy we've seen. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, I know we said Feaster, but DJ Bell's got a lot of time. At corner.
That's a big guy too.
Yeah, that's a much bigger corner.
6'2"-ish. Yeah. And then Tyron Taylor. We can name dudes all day. That's what's so beautiful about this. And Tyron Taylor's the transfer from Colorado. So I mean, there's just so many guys that they can put back there. I feel confident that we're going to see 15 dudes that will just rotate in that secondary until they find what sticks. And hopefully it's not in a sense where it's like, hey, we're getting torched for 400 yards a game. Let's rotate. Maybe it's just like, hey, let's just try in another guy here and let's see what works and just kind of balance things out. So.
Okay. All right. Last two very quickly. Kick returner, punt return, and then kickoff. I mean, punt, it's got to be Sutton. I think he's one of the kick returners and punt. Chris White said that the other week. And if it was today, it would be Sutton. And he's a playmaker. He's shifty. He's quick. I think that's who's returning kicks.
He seems like he would make the most sense.
I'm as the other kickoff returner, I'm putting Feaster back there.
Okay, for punt returner, to not copy you, I think Sutton makes the most sense. I'm going to take Kobe Drake because Kobe is shifty. Kobe gets kind of written off as just like that white receiver guy. Kobe is
the possession guy.
Yeah, but his hands are incredible.
We've seen him
very
return
shifty.
punts before. Well, I think they put him back there to
We've seen him field
punts.
Yes.
I don't hate the take.
That's not his fault, though. I think that was more of the special teams situation.
Sure.
And kick returner, I think it's Davian Ross is who I would put back there.
Yeah.
He looks
He got
looks
two.
good
You get
returning.
two options.
Who'd you pick?
I said Sutton and Feaster, but I may change it to Feaster and Ross.
I'm trying to give you someone different than what you said. A name that hasn't been said, Julian Barnett, I think is a guy they could put back there.
Wow. Did not expect that, but
Really?
I'll take it.
Yeah, I think Julian Barnett could be a guy we see back there.
Wow. Okay. All right, Teach, let's go to break. When we get back, we're going to answer the questions you guys submitted in the Discord, run through some season superlatives, maybe give a couple college football picks. What we got, and we'll wrap it up. We'll see you on the other side.
A show over in New Zealand, radio host had Pete Pranica, of all people, on his show. And the guy was saying that a friend of his who's close to Steven Adams said that the Grizzlies kind of mishandled something with his surgery, that he needed surgery the whole time. They said that he didn't. They prolonged it, and then he actually got surgery, and now he's rehabbing from that.
Yeah, they use the word misdiagnosed.
Yeah, that's a strong word. The Grizzlies don't give clear information about stuff, and it leaves room for interpretation.
Right.
And my interpretation is that this story sounds real. Now I'm not saying this story is true, but it's true-ish. That sounds more realistic than anything the Grizzlies were saying.
When you leave things up for speculation,
Hey, that's what happens. Guys like me just put
guys
two
like
and
that
two
New
together.
Zealand radio guy,
New
can
Zealand
say
radio
that.
dude, they come out and say, hey,
And I know-
my partner said Steven Adams was way more messed up than y'all thought he was.
And not only that,
Yeah.
y'all misdiagnosed that man.
Misdiagnosed. Strong words, man.
Woo.
Strong words.
Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
But they need front court depth, probably. I mean, if I'm looking at their roster, you need front court depth. You don't know if DeAndre Williams is gonna come back. So you have to make sure that you have enough to be able to rotate in. We have to see where Malcolm's injury status is right this second, but he knows what's expected of him in a Penny Hardaway system, and he can give you those spurts. It never worked as a starter because he could only give you spurts, but as a bench player that's getting 10 to 12 minutes a game, I wouldn't mind to see him and a return to Memphis.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Bluff City NIL is an official partner with Coaching for Literacy, a nonprofit organization using the power of sports to impact childhood literacy. You can read more about them at coachingforliteracy.org or at Coaching for Literacy on social media platforms. Your donations to Bluff City NIL are 100% tax deductible because of our partnership together, so we thank you for supporting Memphis Tiger student athletes and helping promote the monumental cause that is childhood literacy. All right, we back. TJ, we got some questions in the Discord and some superlatives we're going to go over. We added some this year. I think last year we only had like 8. I think I might have doubled it this year. It's going to be a little more fun and a little more challenging so that you don't just get the beer.
Yeah, I can't wait to win more beer.
Kenny is going to be our host this evening and ask us the question. So, Kenny, I'm going to throw it over the glass to you.
Let's go. All right, y'all ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Question number 1. Who are the X factors on offense and defense this year?
TJ, you want to go first?
One on offense, one on defense. Is that what you're looking for specifically?
Yes.
On offense, I'll say Blake Humsky. I think that his ability to be the slot guy, because I think the outside guys are going to kind of open up a little bit more for him on the inside. Plus, we've seen him do some serious work already at Toledo. Kind of goes against my original answer. I was going to think Skates, honestly, but I'm going to change it up. I'm going to say Demir.
Okay. I'm going Sutton. We've heard a lot
Perfect
about
answer.
him, seen him in a lot of the clips they're posting, just his shiftiness, his ability to make plays, make people miss, change a direction. And I think how they're going to use him in multiple areas, handing off in the backfield, receiving, putting him in the slot potentially, giving him the opportunity to return kicks. I think he's the X factor.
Can he throw the ball? Do you know?
I have not seen him throw the ball with my own two eyes.
I'm
But
gonna
he's
assume
an,
he can
he's an
throw the
athlete.
ball.
I would
Yeah, I'm
assume
assuming
that
he
he can throw a football.
Just keep that in the back of your mind. That's all I'm going to say.
Could be fun.
See a Gabe Rogers type play.
I don't know if anyone will ever throw a football as pretty as that.
Yeah,
in the
we
history
may
of
never
football
see that
from
again.
going forward.
It's true.
I'm not even joking. I've never seen a pass more
From a
perfect
non-quarterback.
on the run. Dime.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was gorgeous.
Just a dime, man.
I don't think that pass will ever be overthrown. On defense,
I'm going Simeon.
Simeon
'Cause
seems like the
he's-
easiest
I mean,
possible
he's a
answer.
coach on the field.
Yeah, Simeon seems like the easiest answer there.
Maybe not necessarily from a statistical
No, I've
side, but just his ability to be there, coach the defense, tell people where they need to be, calling out everything the offense is doing motion wise. Like, I think he's going to be an X factor on that side of the ball.
I think he's a tackling machine.
You are fighting a yawn. So
I am,
hard.
dude.
Just let it fly.
It's already gone. I ate it. It's gone. No, I think it's going to be Simeon Blair, but I think it will be in tackles. I obviously don't want your safety to lead the team in tackles.
That is a superlative. Don't start talking about that yet.
But I think that he is such a good tackler that it's just he's going to stand out. A man among boys. Not really, but you get my point.
Okay.
All right, question number 2. Obviously, we drink beer on this show.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah. Of the beers you've had and ranked on this show, on Tigers Untapped, what beer represents Tiger football this year?
What? First of all,
An incredible question.
what an absolutely thoughtful question.
Shout out to Nick Guerra, man. That's my guy.
What a great
that's
question.
a great question.
And I'm going, which is, I think, one of the highest rated beers that I've given in Memphis style lager for 2 reasons. One, this should be Silverfield's highest rated team. And 2, I think this is going to be a Memphis style team. Grit, blue collar, hard nosed, defensive, out there just playing tough nosed football
I was hoping
with a little bit of flashy because the can was good. 90s.
I'm going to say similar logic. I'm going to say Memphis Sands.
Wow, they're like the aquifer.
Yes, I'm going to say Memphis Sands because I think this is
Because the rest of the Americans got to filter through Memphis Tiger football to get to the championship. TJ, I like where you're at.
something like that. I'm going to say because I think this is going to be one hell of a year, and Memphis Sands is one hell of a beer. I think we rated it both high in the can and in the beer taste. Off the top of my head, I don't recall my score. I would be
I think we both
shocked
put it in the 8s.
if it wasn't in the high 8s.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're going to get here. If you could, let's say 12-0 is a 10 and 10-2 is a 9. I'd say you're pushing it
You're
right
getting there.
there. I mean, we both said 9-3, 10-2 is very plausible with this team.
TJ and I are very optimistic right now. I don't know if that's because we're so damn close to football or if we truly believe that this team has a chance to be real special. They do. They have a chance. This
The
should be
roster
the
is
best team that we've seen in the last 4
good
years.
this year. So good.
Given the way the schedule lays out, the new conference, it should be a good
Your
year.
toughest games are at home, where you've been incredible.
Sure.
So it checks the boxes. If you look at games like Tulane, SMU, those are your tough conference games at home, and it's pretty much whoever is the
You're
home
playing
team has been winning that.
6 first-year head coaches. You're playing
Yeah.
3 teams that had 3 wins last year. Like,
I will say that someone is going to be better than what we think on paper.
sure. I mean,
It's not going to be
it's a
UAB.
Tulane last
I can
year.
let you know. It's
But
not
I would
UAB.
also say that there's probably going to be somebody that's supposed to be good that's going to be Cheeks. Like Houston was last year. Well, I shouldn't. That's
Yeah,
not a great
Houston
example.
was-
'cause
turned
they beat
out
us.
to be okay.
They were fine, but they weren't what they were projected
Sure.
to be. 12
We
and
should have
0
beat that
and
ass.
Yeah, should have beat those cheeks.
Memphis Sands, final answer.
All right, Kenneth, what do we have next?
All right, this question has an assumption that I don't want you guys can refute this assumption is what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
But outside of the O line, what position group concerns you the most going into the season? The assumption is that the O line is the most concerning group for you. I don't know if that's true or not, but what position group concerns you the most?
I would say. I think that's a fair assumption given the last several years that O-line is the one that you need to come out and see the most improvement. Right?
Yeah.
Outside of that, I think it's what we talked about a little bit earlier. At least my answer is going to be linebacker probably. Just because of Jeff really, I mean, like we said, you've had Sincere, but he's never been a starter really. Like
Yeah, he may have started
and you
a
just
game.
don't have a ton of Division I level production there. That's not to say that they won't be a good unit, but from all position group wise, I feel like that's probably it for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. It's just because you just don't have the experience at linebacker like you do at D line.
Yeah.
At DB. We talked about the wide receivers, which I think someone out there was probably looking for us to say wide receiver, but you and I don't seemingly have too much
I
of
just
a
feel good about. Again, I don't think you have a clear cut. He is the guy type of guy that stands above all the others. But given Toski and Rock being bigger bodied, like we said, go up and get it, catch it in traffic, and then 2 speed guys, like I feel pretty good about.
Do you need a go-to guy though?
I don't think you do if they all step up and do their jobs well.
If
If you've got multiple options, I think that may be better than teams trying to focus in on one guy.
I think even if you were to look back at last season,
Make them defend all 4.
if last season, let's say the running game worked just a little bit better, I don't think it mattered that you didn't have a guy.
Yeah. Well, I also think a lot of it comes down to the line too, right?
100%.
Are they giving Seth time? Are they giving the receivers time to get into their routes? And
Yeah. The receiver is breaking as Seth is running for his life. His eyes have already come down from downfield.
Right.
So, I think linebacker is going to be the easy choice there. And it's not like that they're not talented. It's not like they're well coached. I think Hankins is incredible. I wouldn't be shocked if he got pulled to another team to be the deep coordinator, the head coach, whatever it may be. I think the bodies they have there are nice. They tons of talented dudes. There's not a ton of snaps under the belt. I think that's all it comes down to. It's just questioning.
yeah.
I have a question for you that I'm just going to add in here because it kind of
I like the right in.
Yeah, I'm going to write this one in. We never, ever talk about Seth in terms of question marks and concerns and things like that. And obviously, Seth has had an incredible 2 years so far at Memphis. Has the chance to, this year, if he plays kind of at the same level he has played, to potentially break a lot of records this year at Memphis. But what are some things that you guys want to see Seth do better this year?
Oh, I mean, it's good. It's a good question. He has a very strong arm. So his downfield passes, I think, can be really good. We just haven't been able to see them yet, right? We talked about Skates. He had Calvin to throw to as well. So he's had downfield threats. I think we go back to the offensive line, just hasn't given him enough time. But I want to see more vertical downfield attacking. I think that will showcase his arm. That helps his draft stock. Last year he kind of had happy feet. I think he's openly admitted.
I think I was going to say just making a decision either
poise.
way quicker.
Yeah.
Right? I think there were times last year where we saw, not every game, but there were occasions where there were windows there and he just didn't make the throw, and then it ends up that he's got to run. Or that he starts moving out of the pocket a little quicker because there maybe is some pressure, but it's like if you stood in there a half second later,
Yeah.
you might have had something.
He definitely could have better set his feet because we saw a couple sail high last year.
Yeah.
That turned into tip passes.
That's
that
another
turned
one.
into interceptions. So setting his feet.
I would like to see. I mean, it's not that he's not accurate, But
No, he's
I mean, when you were overthrowing was he 6'5" tight end,
yeah.
6'6"?
No, I think we take Seth for granted because we've had Riley, we've had Paxton, we've had Brady White, like these guys that are, I hate to use this term of system quarterbacks, and I guess that applies more to Brady than anything.
Yeah.
I think we've just been so spoiled that we forget how good Seth has been. Like he is about to be on year 3. And
Well, I don't know that would really be the case either if the teams had won more than they have.
Well,
I think that also kind of keeps people from talking about how good he is.
Well, I was going to say that he's in 5th place, I think, career-wise.
To Kenny's point, he has a chance this year to break the all-time passing record in 3 years.
It's going to be tough to beat Brady White this year, I think, because Brady had some wild years. He was at 10,690 yards in 3 years.
Yeah.
That's a lot of yards.
It is a lot.
But he also had UConn on the schedule.
Sure.
We'll say that. But he definitely he's pushing Danny Wimprine, Memphis legend. Danny obviously had 4 years. He could. I'm confident, barring wild injury, he will beat out Paxton and Riley. So you're talking at worst, he is your third all-time leading passer. Yeah. I think we take Seth for granted at times because he is like this super calm, like soft-spoken guy. He kind of, in a way, he's kind of a little nerdy. Like he just doesn't he doesn't come off as like I'm alpha male quarterback of this team. Like he's not super outspoken. He's very soft-spoken. He's very kind of he's the son of a coach. Like he knows exactly what to say, and not that he rehearses these things, but he just mentally he understands it, knows what to say in interviews. So you never get any slip ups with him. He's never like, yeah, we're gonna go out there and just whoop the shit out of these people. Like you're not gonna get that.
No.
So maybe I think we kind of put Seth on the back burner, but he's incredible. He's so good.
Yeah,
so good.
This is interesting. This is the first year that he's going to be, that he comes into this program as the not even questioned number one quarterback. The last 2 years, he had training camp battles. And so it's going to be interesting to see what he does with that. Like the unquestioned leader of this team will be interesting to see how he handles that.
And the second year in the same system.
Yep.
Not that it was like a big change between the two systems, but I mean, I definitely think there's coaching changes with stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
All right. 4th and 5 with the game on the line. Who are you throwing to?
Sutton Smith out of the backfield or the slot. He's a playmaker. Give him the ball. Unless they wanted a specific wide receiver as an answer, then I'm going probably Demir.
Yeah, is this
on
like
a slant?
Is this like 4th and 5 on the 5-yard line? Or
Yeah, I think that's that's the big question is where are we at in the field, right? Like
doesn't matter. You need 5 yards.
Yeah, I think it does matter though.
It does matter.
Because the easy answer for me personally, I think it'll be Lanphier.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's a
That
dude
is a Kevon Davenport type answer from TJ.
Well, I say that because you forget how big he is, and he's not like the flashy tight end of yesteryear that we've had. He's just kind of like a big body out there. He's a big lugging guy. He and Brendan Doyle.
I would love. I mean,
guys.
let's be honest. I think if TJ at this point last year had said, I don't want to say his name, but our previous tight end, we probably had the same reaction.
Yeah, I think that he is going to be better than expected. I don't think it'll be a 607-yard receiving tight end type of situation. I don't think it's going to be.
I also don't know that you need him to be that.
Exactly. That's where I was going with that. Is you have so many more weapons on the outside
you've had in
that
previous years.
I don't know if you need him to be. If he can be,
TJ's going with more of a surprise element.
Yeah, I think he can be your Joey.
Wow.
I think he can be Joey.
That. Okay.
Because Joey never had
and Joey caught it.
He absolutely caught it. He never had this 500, 600 yard receiving season. I don't think off the top of my head, but and people know who the hell Alan Cross is. They know Joey, and they were like 300, 400 yard guys.
Yep.
Daniel Montiel. Just all reliable.
We've had a string of the tight ends.
Montiel's another guy I don't think people talk about enough at tight end. But
Do we know how good Lanfear is with his hands?
everything I've seen, he can catch the ball. I mean, the thing is, they love tight ends. I think Ryan said in his interview that they have never. I don't think there's a single play where they've not lined up with the tight end.
Yeah.
And so what that means is whatever you want it to mean. Like, is he going to run for a pass? Is he just going to block? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. But I've seen the guy catch the ball. He doesn't stand out in terms of being just like blazing fast. But I think that he could easily slip out in the flats, and you have to pay attention to him because he's a guy who could go 3 catches, 45 yards in every game.
I think that was a sleight of hand answer by Silverfield in y'all's interview, though, because as the #1 football podcast in Memphis football podcast in America, we know that there's AAC. All the AAC coaches are paying attention to this show. I think Silverfield was trying to throw a little bit of a sleight of hand, like, hey, we've never run without a tight end. Boom, first game,
No tight end.
no tight end. That's what I think is going on. I'm joking. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Also, is he saying like nobody that plays tight end? Because I'm pretty sure we've run 5 wide before, but just had like Sean Dykes lined up out.
yeah, it's just exactly. It's just a tight end out on the field.
Yeah.
So you wanted to call BS on that, didn't you, Trey? Yeah, I saw your face. You were like,
Bro, I could totally see a situation where on the outside it's like Rock, Demir, and then Lanfear. And then Lanfear just crashes down as opposed to making a route. And then it's like a tunnel screen or something underneath. Because that's a big-bodied dude. Again, like very large man at tight end. All of the tight ends are so big, by the way. It's kind of weird. Like, so we've normally had like 6'2", 6'3" tight ends.
Yeah.
Like literally everyone's
Smaller for the
65,
position, yeah.
6'5" plus.
Yeah.
even Chisholm?
He is a little
just
smaller, but he's so
stout.
thick.
Freaking
He's so thick.
bulldog.
Yeah, he's big.
He's bigger than Joey, I would say.
Oh, Joey was slight. Joey's wasn't a big tight end.
You say that? I mean, he was still like 6'3", 6'4", 230, 240. I mean, he was still a big dude, but like he was thinner though. I kind of know what you mean there. But so was Dykes.
Yes, Dykes was 6'1".
Dykes was a receiver playing
Yes, he
tight end.
was.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. In y'all's opinion, who leads the team in touchdown rushes this year? Rushes, not catches, not rushes.
That's so tough, man. Because we've seen him use.
Nor Watson or Ducker have had a real big year of touchdowns before.
Yes, exactly.
So it's like I feel like we get down there and then it's going to be like we're handing off to BT inside the red zone.
It's going to be Bull.
It's Bull or
Bull.
BT, yeah. I mean, those are your short yardage guys, I feel like. I still think that there is a backside chance that Sutton has 7 touchdowns this year.
Yeah.
7 doesn't seem like a lot in the grand scheme of things, but if Sutton's got 7 and
3 running backs.
yeah, you have 5 guys talking about touching the ball. So I'm going to say Sutton. There's just so many ways to give him the ball.
I wanted to say that too.
You can't. I already called dibs.
I'll go Bull inside the red zone.
That's fair.
Inside the 5, just handing it off.
But let it know, I am considering Brandon Thomas.
I really, really thought about it.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he just hasn't been able to stay healthy. And
I know.
I know you said he looks good, and
He definitely looks
I'm going Bull.
good. Looks the part.
All right, last question before you get to the season superlatives. Who on defense leads the team in interceptions?
Ooh.
I don't think this will be a high number.
I don't either. I mean, the most we had last year was like 2, probably.
Maybe. I don't know. Quindell had just 2?
No.
I was thinking he had like 4.
Let me see.
Did he?
I was
Zay
thinking it
led
was
the
close
team
to
with
4.
like 2 or 3.
I will say it's going to be a linebacker because I'm expecting a lot of batted passes. And we've actually had a linebacker. Maybe it was JJ that had a couple of interceptions.
Zay had several.
Or maybe
last
it
year.
was Zay. It was Zay Collins. I'm going to say Chandler Martin. I'll take a wild card there. The easiest thing is one of the safeties.
It was either Zay or Quindell last year. I'm going to say Greg moving out to that safety position as a free safety. He's just out there ball hawking now.
Yeah, that's the thing is that we've talked about how many different DBs they're going to have.
Yeah,
it's
so
hard
tough.
for me to put any faith in the DB.
Somebody's going to have 2 and win that.
Exactly.
Quindell had 4 last year.
Yeah.
Zay had 3.
Yeah, there you go.
Savante had 3.
Savante having 3 is surprising, but I think he got some of those late in the Utah State game in the bowl game.
He was
UT Arlington State.
Okay.
Shout out to the state part.
All right, so you said Chandler.
I'm going to say Chandler. Yeah, I'm just going to take a
going
wild
Greg.
card there.
All right, let's jump into the superlatives.
Okay. Does Kenny have that list as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, my bad. Here we go.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you knew you were going to read those.
Here we go. Who will have the most rushing yards?
Damn it. I'm going to say Blake Watson. I think that's the hot hand they're going to ride because he's going to start hitting home runs.
Yeah, it's Blake. I know you already said it, but I want to say Sutton, but I think they're going to line him up in other ways and get him like quick passes and stuff that it's going to take away from some of his rushing yards. So I'm going Blake as well.
Part of me wants to change it because I don't want us to have the same answer.
Well, we're not. There's plenty of superlatives. We can have some of the same answers.
All right. Golly. Okay, here we go. Who will be the 1,000-yard rusher for the team this year? And you have to give me a name. You can't say no one.
Blake Watson, the guy who's done it before.
Yeah,
I guess Ducker's done it.
Ducker's done it.
Yeah,
I'm going to go Blake as well.
it's going to be Duck now that we say that.
Is that it? All right, here we go. Who will have the most receiving yards?
I can tell you the easy answer.
I'm between 2. I mean, it's either Demir or Joe for me. Just from everything that Joe is going to just have like 5 70-yard touchdown catches.
Yeah, that's the thing, and we saw him do it last year.
I'm going Demir. I think he's going to probably get the most targets as a receiver and opportunity to have the most yards.
I'll take Skates then.
Yep.
I just think it's 5 catches, 100 yards. Almost not really every game, but like it just feels like that.
All right. Will there be one? Who's going to be the 1,000-yard receiver?
I think I meant to put that as, will we have a 1,000-yard receiver?
I'll say no. If that's
I'm going to
the
say no
question.
as well. So
We'll change the question up. Who will the Tigers have a 1,000-yard receiver?
against your wishes, I'm saying no.
No, I'm going to say no as well, just because there's too many mouths.
I think,
to feed.
it's going to get spread around.
All right, this one seems kind of easy, but who will the Tigers score the most points against? And a bonus point for if you can guess the number of points they score in that game.
Bethune-Cookman 59. Final answer.
Yeah,
We'll put a caveat on this. You can't go.
It can't be FCS.
Can't be FCS.
Okay, so remaining schedule. Gosh, part of me wants to say A-State because last time we were down there. I'm gonna say Charlotte.
Yeah, it seems.
I'm gonna say 52.
I'll say South Florida.
Florida was supposedly at one of the clubs in Miami we were talking about going to.
I will say South Florida, and it will be. Goodness gracious, this number just seems so hard to project. What number did you say is the highest? 52?
Yeah.
That feels right. South Florida 52. Am I allowed to say the same score?
Give me another score so you can win the points. And whoever's closest but doesn't go over.
South Florida 55.
All right.
That's not a bad guess either.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. They're at home too. Dang it.
Who will be the offensive MVP this year?
Seth.
Yeah. Seth seems like the easiest answer, being the quarterback. I'll change it up and say Blake Watson, just so we don't have the same answer.
Okay.
Thought you were going to say Jonah Gamble for a second there, TJ. All right.
Jonah Gamble.
Who will have the most tackles?
Simeon Blair. It's because I said it earlier.
I'm going to say Jeff.
Who will commit the first turnover?
Oh, Seth? I could totally see a pass getting batted and tipped.
Oh, that was supposed to be defensive. Who gets the first turnover?
You guys are keeping me on my toes.
Who gets the first turnover?
I'm going Jalen Allen. Strip sack.
I'm going to definitely need to see a Jalen Allen turnover this year.
I'm going to say Malik Feaster. No, Davian Ross. DK Ross all day.
I like that.
Which defender will have the most interceptions?
Did we?
Yeah, we just answered that one.
I think we answered that one already.
In the end of the questions.
There was
someone
not reviewing their questions, Trey.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't remember what I said. Oh, Chandler Martin.
I said Ruben.
Yeah.
Okay. Who will have the most forced fumbles?
Goodness. Jeff Canton Arku.
I'm going Chandler Martin just solely based on that hit that he had on Jay Ducker
That's
the other
fair.
day. If he's hitting folks like that, they're coughing that thing up.
I'm going to throw my name in the hat. Cormonte Hamilton.
It's a perfect answer.
That's a good one.
He's such a sleeper, I think, going into the
People
season.
are sleeping on him.
You're
and
right. We are.
man.
He just doesn't play like a sexy
TJ and I
position,
are.
that's why.
We hadn't even mentioned him.
I mean, he was second on the team in sacks last year with, I think, 4.5, and Jalen had 5, maybe. It's just a very quiet year for him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's good.
All right. Who will the Tigers hold to the fewest total points? How many total points?
Is this another no Bethune-Cookman answer?
Yeah.
Right.
Navy?
I like that.
Interesting.
I just don't know what to expect. I mean, they don't have a quarterback. Like, I'm not supposed to. Are we supposed to pretend like they have a quarterback now? Navy 24
Points?
24 points?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to.
That's
a
way too
lot.
high. Yeah, that's a lot.
We almost blanked like 4 teams last year.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just trying to think.
Better hope Navy doesn't score 24 points.
I mean, I want to say Charlotte again, but I'm going to say
I'm trying to pull up the schedule real quickly. Navy's just the first one off the top of the dome.
I think it's probably Navy because their offense is so quarterback centric. Like,
yeah.
It's also a toss up what the hell they're going to run. Like, I don't think it's a guarantee that they're going to run triple option. Like, I could see them coming out in the wing and then audible to a 4-wide spread. And
I'm
no
saying
one's prepared
UAB
for
because
that.
Trent Dilfer's a dork. And
That's such a good
They're going
answer.
to score 9 points.
we'll find out pretty soon what old Navy's what they're gonna run. Week 0, baby.
Yep.
I'm going to say Navy, and I'll take it up. What was your score?
I said 9.
9?
So
I think-
mix extra kick and
3 field goals. They
Yeah,
don't
he's
score.
just talking
3 field goals?
They don't score a
specifically.
tutty on us.
10 seems too low for Navy. I'm going to say.
Although that's what they had last year.
Yeah, I know. I think they're going to be a little different. That was there too. Navy 10. I wanted to say
Gosh, that
13.
does feel good. I don't think UAB.
Yeah, Navy 10.
I love Trey's disdain for UAB. He's just That look on
That
his
just
face.
doesn't. That
It's
doesn't feel like
sour.
the right answer, but I'm sticking with it.
I want it to be Arkansas State, honestly.
I do
I'm
too,
so
but-
tired of dicking around with them.
We always make it a game, and we shouldn't.
All right. Who's going to be the defensive MVP?
Jalen Allen.
That is such a
I think it's. I mean, we just talked about him having 5 sacks. If you can give me a Huff Daddy kind of year, like a 7 or 8 sack type of season, like sheesh.
I'm going Jeff at the middle, anchor of the defense. Give it to me. I need a big year out of Jeff.
I mean, that'd be perfect.
All right. Will the Tigers record a safety?
I'm gonna say no. It's just so. I feel like it's pretty rare.
It is rare. This happened last year, and you said no, and I said yes, just to be opposite
Just
of
the
you. And then
opposite.
it
I
cost
get
me
it.
a 6-pack. I'm saying no too. And
You
then
can't.
Watch, we're gonna do it the first
Oh
week.
my gosh.
I'm saying no.
Here's what's going to happen. It's going to be the 2019 Bryce Huff against
I know
Ole Miss.
in the very first game.
Very first game. That's what's
And then
going to
I'm gonna be
happen.
so mad at
It's gonna be
myself.
Jalen Allen. You just compared Jalen Allen to Bryce Huff a few
I
minutes
understand.
ago.
I'm gonna still say no. It's just because it's so rare.
Chandler Martin up the middle. Block. All right, here we go.
Or it's going to be something dumb, like just in the first game, Bethune's going to be punting on their first possession, snap it out of the
Step
back
out of
the end.
bounds?
Yeah, snap it out of the back of the end zone. And I'm going to punch TJ.
That's exactly.
TJ and I get into these like bets that we have or a pick 'em score where it forces us to start rooting for things that are very weird.
Yeah.
Like we really, really need a Bethune-Cookman field
Fourth
goal.
quarter, you're like, oh, what's that? A 63-yard field goal? You got it. You guys can do it. Just kick the field goal. You don't want to get blanked.
Like what game was it last year? The Tulsa game, I think.
Dude, there's like 4 games this happened.
Do you know how much I'm going to laugh in the Bethune-Cookman game on the first drive that they have?
I
They
will
step
leave.
out the back of the end
I'll
zone and
leave.
get us.
I'm going to leave. I'll leave. I'll leave. It's Labor Day weekend. I'm leaving. I will go straight to the lake.
I am running over to y'all side of the field and just going to laugh the entire time. All right, here we go. Will the Tigers score a special team tutty?
Yes,
I'm saying yes.
I think so.
Bonus point is it? What is it?
Well, yeah, what is it?
Punt return.
I'm going kickoff return.
When was the last punt return for a touchdown?
Last year.
Oh, Eddie,
St.
right?
Louis, yeah.
Yep,
I
Eddie
said we
did
just
it.
did it.
Against North Alabama.
Yep.
Trey has this ability to just stockpile exactly like the yardage, the person, the game.
Only some. I can't.
No, it's pretty wild. Like you can be like, hey man, when's the last time we converted a 4th and 23? And he's like,
But see, I don't know that
ECU, 2017.
He's the Rain Man.
I
Yeah,
don't know
dude.
that answer.
The Rain Man of Tigers Untapped. All right. Longest field goal made.
What is Seth Morgan's longest so far?
I'm gonna say 53 yards because that's a pretty far boot.
That is a far boot.
What did Chris Howard make last year? He made one
I think
that was
it was right at 50. I think.
yeah. He's someone that was not necessarily known as like a big kick.
No,
kind of
I don't think
guy,
he had
but-
made one over like 45 yards his career.
Yeah, but I think he made it, and there was like yards to go. Like it was.
Oh
well
yeah,
in
the one
there.
that I think he also kicked it with the wind though. It was a pretty stiff wind behind him.
What did they call? Who was the special teams coach? Bankins?
Yes.
What did he call Chris at the beginning of the year? Didn't he have a name for him? Like,
He had a lot of names for a lot of
talk about his. Did he say something about his legs or something like that? Like, anyway.
They talked about his conditioning a lot, saying he wasn't well conditioned. I'm like, well, I don't know how conditioned does he need to be?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Like, I
What'd
wasn't
you say?
following that one.
53.
53, yeah. Seth
That
Morgan is not a big guy.
He's not, but I will. He has kicked a 52 yarder in his career already,
I was gonna say, but neither is
so he's capable.
any kicker we've ever had. I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
and they've all.
I mean,
except
Jake
Joe
Elliott's a
Doyle,
little dude.
But
I'm gonna say 50 on the dot
okay.
is the longest for this year.
Now Tristan Vandenberg is gonna be the kicker and freaking sink a 57-yarder.
Wait, he's on. I thought he's. So you said he kicked the 52-yard field goal?
Seth Morgan had
did.
previously at Sam Houston State.
And I was
his
saying he's
career.
gonna make a 50.
I'm only seeing a 50, but whatever, 2 yards.
October 29th of last year against Tarleton,
Rain Man.
52 yards.
How did you know that?
I just looked it up.
Okay.
I was at that game.
How many do not change your answers from last week. How many regular season wins will the Tigers have? Because y'all changed your answers in the middle of the damn segment last week.
Yeah,
so
it's because I wanted to do 9-3, and
I'm sticking with 10.
there was a game that I just didn't make up my mind on, and I mean, if you say I can't change my answer, then it's 10-2. But
You can change your answer if you want to.
I think it's 9-3, and it's going to be. I think they'll lose to Mizzou.
You're going to have to go back and edit last week's episode now, Kenny.
I know. I think they'll lose to Mizzou. I may have picked that, actually.
You did pick that. Your two losses were Mizzou and
SMU.
SMU, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to pick Mizzou, SMU. We're not freaking losing to Tulane at home.
No.
We're just not. We don't do it. When's the last time we did it? Like 98?
I mean, we don't lose at home, period.
Well,
Quite
that's
frankly.
not
Lost to
necessarily
Houston. Sorry. Too
We
soon.
didn't lose. We just ran out of time.
I think there's going to be a third game in there somewhere. Like if you told me we go to North Texas and struggle,
Yeah.
I don't want to lose that game because I don't think.
I mean, it's hard.
Good,
It's hard
but
to not want to put that in there, given how bad we've been on the road.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I mean,
where
you're
I'm
not
going with
playing really the same caliber team, but shoot, we've struggled with Temple in Philly, and we
it. We
play at
struggled
Temple.
with Temple at home last year.
Yeah, but you did end up winning by 3
Sure.
tutties. But I see where you're coming from.
Yeah,
I'm sticking with what I said last week, though.
It's definitely something that we have talked about endless number of times. It's something that coaching staff has talked about endless number of times. You got to be able to finish these games, and I think there's going to be one game that gets them, and it's going to make some people mad. Well, they're going to slip up on one game where they had a chance to win, and they let it get away. But it's only going to be one game, only one.
Will it be a conference game?
I picked it to be with SMU or North Texas, depending on which one you look at. But
Ugh.
I don't like
you can't
that.
afford to lose to North Texas. I'm gonna
No,
be real honest.
I don't
with you.
like that.
I don't like that at
Because
all.
SMU's conference schedule is not good, and yeah, SMU has like the outside of Memphis, they don't play anyone like at all conference wise. Tulane and UTSA at least play each other. So like, fingers crossed, one of them kind of cancels each other out.
Let's hope Tulane beats UTSA, because UTSA already has a rough out of conference schedule.
Yeah,
Tulane beats them. Memphis beats Tulane. Boom.
you know it's interesting because Tulane gets tested pretty early on. If you look at it, like I think when
And so does UTSA.
sure,
Houston
but
and
we don't play
Tennessee.
them, so I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying not to take them.
But
in
I just
consideration.
mean you'll know what they
Yeah.
are probably.
Well, then, do we want Tulane to beat UTSA if Memphis is playing Tulane? Do we want them to come in with a loss?
Well, I think it's going to be interesting because it's, they play South Alabama, and I don't think South Alabama.
They're no rollover.
Yeah, I don't think they're a bad team.
I mean, they won 10 games last year.
Yeah. Then they're at Ole Miss. No, excuse me.
It's at
Ole
home,
Miss is at
which is
Yeoman.
wild that Ole Miss is going to be at
I agree.
Tulane.
I don't think they survive that.
You think anybody's coming to that game? I mean, nope.
Yeah, I think people
it'll be
will
good.
show up
And
because
I think Ole Miss fans will travel because it's in New Orleans.
it's New Orleans. Everyone wants to party, and I
I mean,
think
there's
Tulane
not
fans will-
that many are going to be able to travel because it's a tiny ass stadium, but
It's true.
they'll be there.
So y'all think Ole Miss beats them in that game?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tulane lost to Southern Miss last year.
Yeah.
And they play Southern Miss in Hattiesburg this year.
Yeah. I think
Then
Ole
they
Miss
play
will win that
Nichols. Obviously, Nichols not great.
Let's have a Drake Clark game in that Southern Miss game.
I
please.
know, dude.
game. Ooh, Drake.
Drake's at Southern Miss.
DRIQ go off.
Let's go DRIQ.
DRIQ. They
I'm
have
tuning in for that
UAB, which whatever, but it's more so the first 3 games: South Alabama, Ole Miss, and then at Southern Miss. I think you have a general idea of who Tulane is at that point. Yeah, that's enough of a test for me to understand. Okay, watching this team, can they come into Simmons Bank and win? And I don't think they're going to have enough. I really don't. They have no Spears to rely on. Like, I understand their backup running back is back, whatever. I don't care. Tajay Spears was a different dude.
God, did y'all see him in
Such
that
a different dude.
preseason? Oh
Yes.
my God.
He's built different.
Speaking of, not to totally get away from the superlatives for a second, but did y'all see Calvin Austin?
Yes, dude is so fast.
serious?
It's unreal.
He makes elite NFL athletes look slow.
He has
man.
a second gear.
It's ridiculous.
Like you see him hit that second gear on that play. I'm assuming we're all talking about the deep
Yeah.
bench. And it's just like,
It looks like the video as an editor of video content, of digital content. It looks like somebody hit level up speed, like fast forward on it.
even as a specialist, let's say he doesn't play really much as a wide receiver.
Well, he almost took that kick
We
off
saw,
back.
yeah, we all saw the kick going back. Like, I mean, he got stopped by, I think, the kicker, but whatever. It was 60 yards later.
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
All right, I'm going to add a superlative if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it, man.
I have two superlatives I want to add. Yes or no? Sixth game of the year. Tulane comes to Memphis. Both teams could potentially be 5-0. What's the possibility? Is there a possibility that game day could be that week?
No, because it's on
No.
Friday.
Damn it. Okay, scratch that superlative.
I'd already thought about it.
Did you?
I don't think they would anyway since they came here in 19. But
Yeah.
All right.
However, I will back that up. And if SMU is undefeated,
Things are
and
gonna get-
Memphis is undefeated,
things are gonna
that
that's
could
true.
be spicy.
Would they do it again though? Things are gonna get weird on that because it's October, Friday the 13th. We play Tulane.
That is true.
Ooh.
You think they wear the black jersey?
If they don't come out in all black on Friday the 13th, something's wrong with the marketing
boycott?
department.
They have to, because
Yeah.
the 21st they're at UAB and the 28th they're at North Texas. That's your only opportunity to wear all black.
Yeah,
And it's going to piss people off. Sorry in advance. We like the black uniforms.
I like them. The team likes them. All right, what was the second one?
Second superlative is regular season is over. How many conference losses do they have? And do the Tigers play in the AAC championship game?
I'm sticking with my one. And I will say if you have one, barring some crazy tie scenario, I think you're in. TJ just mashed his nose on the microphone.
Maybe
don't
I
know if you
did
guys
do
saw
that. Maybe I did that. I think they could have two. The question is how many you can afford to have, right? Can you have two? Is two?
I think there's a possibility that you have two and you still get in. I think what hurts you now, though, is the division thing, right? Like,
Do they have divisions?
No.
No, it's
That's
like,
what I'm
wait,
saying. Before, I mean, shoot, we made the conference championship losing 3 games or whatever it was. that
Yeah.
year. You definitely can't lose 3 and be in it, I don't think.
It doesn't seem like it because SMU is probably going to coast until your game. Like they're not tested, unfortunately.
I mean, don't they play TCU? That's a test.
That's not in conference though.
I know, but
Like
they're being tested.
Tulane literally finishes the season with UTSA.
Last game of the year.
Last game of the year. Like
They're setting up a Cincinnati Memphis 2019 situation.
Yeah, like you couldn't. You love that because they kind of did like UTSA and Tulane, Memphis and SMU.
Yeah.
They kind of tied it in that way, which I get. It makes perfect sense. Those are your top 4 teams.
Although ours is the week before.
Sure, but my point is they still
They're
matched
still-
up.
Yeah.
Like they knew what they were doing when they did that.
They should have made the SMU game the last week of the year.
I would agree. Not Temple because we just don't care about Temple, but
What a week of games that would have been in the AAC.
Ooh, another superlative. Is the Temple game in the snow?
no, I don't think so.
I'll say yes. I don't know that I've ever seen the Tigs play in the snow.
We've seen them play in the rain.
Oh, too many
have.
times. All right, so UTSA is at Temple, then UAB at home at FAU, which could be relatively decent. ECU at North Texas, Rice, South Florida, and then at Tulane. So they're not really tested outside of that Tulane game and perhaps at Florida Atlantic, whatever you think of Florida Atlantic. I don't think Temple's worth a damn, but people really seem to like EJ Warner and think that he could be something. I just don't see it personally.
Yeah.
No.
So they're just not really tested. So I don't see 2 losses in conference play for UTSA. So if Memphis has 2 losses, they're likely outside. It could be a Temple, or excuse me, a Tulane and UTSA rematch, essentially.
Yeah.
Depending on how things go with SMU. But I think it's more likely SMU and blank if you lose to SMU.
All right, projection time. What bowl game will the Tigers play in?
I think I already suggested the Fenway Bowl.
I wanted to say the Fenway Bowl.
I think it's just like the at-large for the American, essentially, right?
Whatever. I'll be the just extreme optimist, and I will say the Peach Bowl.
I love it.
It's the thing. If you win the conference championship, like that's obviously where you're going to be because it means you've probably already beat Boise.
Yeah.
Who else is out there? I don't know. Is there another group of 5 that we're not thinking of?
Let's do it.
The Peach Bowl is going to save a lot of gas as opposed to Dallas.
Dallas. The Fenway Bowl's in Boston.
I understand. We drove to Dallas last time.
Oh,
Well, I drove. You flew, I think.
2019.
Yeah. The Peach Bowl, though? Why?
It's just closer.
Not in Dallas, like 6.5 hours away.
It's about 8.
I think it was a little more. Yeah.
So what, like a fourth of a tank?
Yeah, just a little bit more gas.
I thought you were talking about Boston.
Yeah,
I was
we
like,
could just
drive-
fly there.
I'd
I
like
think
to
if it's
drive
in
to
Atlanta,
Probably
Boston
fly.
line
I just
there.
made the flight to Atlanta, and it was we were in the air for 43 minutes.
Yeah, I think I would just fly to Atlanta.
It was
that was
great.
too easy.
You're there in no time.
Atlanta airport's is good stuff. It's busy as hell, but it's good.
All right, last superlative. Who will be the player of the year? And don't say, both of y'all can't say Seth.
Yeah, I'm not going to say Seth. I think it'll be Sutton because I think they're going to try to utilize him in so many different ways. And I already talked about it. I think he could easily have 7 touchdowns on the ground. You add in 3 touchdowns through the air, maybe a special teams. I mean, we're up to double-digit touchdowns at this point.
That is a curveball answer, and I love it.
Well, I'm trying to think of who has the most opportunities to get more touchdowns than anyone else. And we've talked about there's so many receivers. I think the ball is going to get spread. And there's so many running backs. I think the ball is going to get spread. So who is equating for both of those categories for receiving and rushing? And then you also throw in special teams. I just think Sutton has the highest chance of getting the most.
Trey, you can say Seth since he said Sutton. I'm joking.
Hey, how many rushing touchdowns did Seth have last year? 4?
Wasn't he like 3rd or 2nd on the team in rushing?
He was 3rd in rushing.
I just, if you throw for 20 touchdowns and then rush for 5, 6, 7, whatever he does.
Gosh, I wanted to say Sutton.
Well, too slow.
I'm saying Seth then. Sorry. Easy answer.
Cheeky.
Do you think there's a possibility? Let's think about
I mean,
this.
I already said Demir was offensive MVP. They're going to give the overall MVP to somebody else.
So 2019 was a big year for redshirt freshman Kenny Gainwell. 2nd year in the program, blew up, exploded after Patrick Taylor broke his foot. Ole Miss game. Is there a possibility that this is the same kind of year for Sutton as a true sophomore?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, it gets dicey because I feel like there's more people in front of him than Kenny had.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that holds me back from agreeing fully. But I also just don't know if Sutton's going to get, just make up some arbitrary number here, 60 carries. I just don't think it's going to be like that. I think it's going to be a situation where he gets 40 carries, but also 20 receptions.
Yeah. And
Who knows how
20
many
kick returns.
Yeah, who knows how many kick returns. So it's just he is set up to succeed. And I think
he's going to have plenty of opportunity to make an impact on the season.
Yeah, I think it's set up by design. Like, okay, who is our most gifted player? Let's give them the most chances to do something.
Yeah.
And I think that's Sutton. And I think that we have touched on it 15 times in this podcast. If you haven't said it, I've said it, and Kenny said it.
Yeah.
All of us. That's the one consensus that we've said is Sutton Smith. So
I agree. All right, very last one. It has nothing to do with the Tigers, but it has everything to do with TJ and I. Kenny, it's for you.
Let's go.
Who will eat more Pronto Puffs throughout the season?
Listen, as a fellow
No, okay.
round fella, I'm gonna say Trey.
yeah. Excuse me?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say,
Second part of that question, does a foot long count as 2?
Dude, I double fist. Freaking.
We don't
No.
need to know about your sex life.
I actually, that's unfair because I normally switch it up and get the barbecue nachos.
Well,
Or the Uncle Lou's.
I'm gonna say Trey.
I'm going to post a picture of every one of my Pronto Pups.
No, seriously.
that's what we have to do. That's how we'll keep
I will
it.
post a picture of
You got to
everyone.
post a
I will
picture of every
tag-
Pronto Pump.
I know those folks over there. I will tag them. I will ask them to share it. And it'll be me when it all comes out. What's the winner get? Where are we going with this?
That's part of the superlative. So the winner gets a case of beers again.
I love it.
It's just one of them.
I love it. I get Pronto Pumps and beer. This is why I am the shape I'm in.
Let's
Good
go.
The beer and Pronto Pups.
All right, really quickly before we rate this beer, TJ, we're going to, throughout the college football season, I'm a big college football bet fan. I want to say gambler. That's a bad word.
Yeah, like
I'm a bettor. It's not gambling when you win all the time.
That's true.
It's investments. We have week 0 this week, Tej. And as our friends who call me Thunderstick know, I like to give Thunder picks. So my pick for this week in week 0, we've got a couple of ball games. Navy, Notre Dame in Dublin, 1:30 on Saturday. Notre Dame minus 20.5. I'm saying lay it on the Irish. They're going to win by 3+ tutties.
You know, they've actually struggled with Navy as of late.
They're not struggling in the home in the land of the Irish.
That's fair. I would take the points, the Notre Dame points as well. I'm just throwing it out there that they have struggled with Navy. So do with that what you will. What about the Hawaii Vanderbilt game?
I was looking at that one.
That's the one that's always been kind of fun, I feel like. And always fun. I mean, really just last year. I think that's the first time that I paid attention to it.
Vanderbilt's favored by 17. Over-unders at 55.5. You have a pick in that? I'll give it to you since you threw it out there. We each get one pick a week that we share, and then we'll tally this too.
I mean,
You can take a different game. There's UTEP, Jacksonville State,
I want
Ohio,
that
San
one.
Diego State, Massachusetts, and New Mexico State.
why'd you say it like that?
I don't know. Just came out that way. Probably because it's midnight, and I've had 4 hours of sleep in the last 4 days. San Jose State, USC. That is a big line. 30.5. That's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points. I will take.
Our boy McIntyre's second game. Second season
Second season, yeah.
with Louisiana Tech. 11-point dogs.
I'll take the Hawaii at Vanderbilt. I think Vanderbilt covers just because the Hawaii team's
The 17.
awful.
Where is Vandy playing that game? Because their home
It's a high
stadium.
school.
They are
Yeah,
playing
they're
there.
playing out of high school.
Will it be sold out?
Maybe
What's the capacity of the high school? Do we know?
16,000.
Is it larger than FAU's basketball?
No.
Yeah, it's got.
Yeah, it's definitely. I'm kidding.
2,000.
Yeah, they're playing at a local high school. I can't remember exactly what high school it is, but it's kind of crazy to think about.
All right, so there's your official Thunder pick, and TJ, you got to come up with something for your picks.
It's called TJ Picks.
Okay, TJ picks. So Notre Dame
I
minus
lose
20.
a lot of money. Don't listen to me.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't listen to TJ. Notre Dame minus 20.5 is my pick. TJ took Vandy minus 17.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this Czar IPA.
It was. It hit you in the
This
face
was
when you
so
first
much
sipped it,
thicker
huh?
than what I drink all weekend.
Yeah, man. Really hits you in the face. In terms of can, this thing is uber boring.
Yeah. It's just silver,
Silver and red, man.
red writing.
You see that? That's
It's our IPA 7.0. Cans real low. I mean, this is
one of the lower cans.
this feels like a 5.5.
That's higher than me. I was gonna say like a 3.2.
Okay.
I mean, look at it. It's just what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Pretty low can. I didn't hate the beer.
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it either, though.
Yeah.
Like I don't know that I'm not seeking this out to drink again, probably.
This is their famous West Coast IPA that we have taken up a notch. Enjoy huge citrus nose with a resounding 7.0 alcohol by volume. It brings down the house with bold grapefruit and danky flavors.
I got the danky. The citrus, huge. Not sure that I got
Yeah,
that.
it wasn't very huge.
But dankiness.
Yeah, there's a lot of malt.
This is high on the dank scale.
So,
I mean, if you gave me one of these, I'm not going to refuse it, but I'm probably not going out and buying a sixer of Czar IPA.
sure. I would say definitely drinkable. Like, without question, drinkable, right? I don't think I'm drinking a second one. Not by choice. I'm going to switch it up and get something different.
Same.
But
I'm going 6.2 on this.
yeah.
It's not the worst beer. It's no Andes Mint.
It's along the lines of that.
Drinkable. It's along the lines of Andes.
Well, it's along the lines of your 6. I would probably put it as 6 flat. I know you don't like that, but it's fine. I would drink it. I don't know if I'd drink another one. I've had better. I've had worse. 6. It's a little bit better than average.
There you go.
I think it's how it
Definitely not the beer that describes what this Tiger football team will be this year.
No.
All right. We got anything else?
I think that's it, man. We need people to be there.
Be there. Get that $60 promo. Buy season tickets.
Buy season
if you're not it's kind of a little bit gamble-ish, but it's fun. $60 they win, you keep winning. Get out there. Get to the bowl September 2nd. First home game. TJ and I will be there. We'll have some Bluff City tailgates this year. We'll let you guys know about the dates for those. You guys come out, hang out with TJ and I, drink a brew before the game. If you haven't already, subscribe, like, comment on YouTube. We like to comment back with you. Until next time, come with the cold beers, take hot takes. Peace.
If you enjoyed this episode of Tigers Untapped, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Like and subscribe at Bluff City Media's YouTube page. Head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co for comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports.